This is the piece we're going to be making. It's just a little air plant holder that you can paint and decorate however you like. And I'm going to show you how to do that in our little tutorial. Okay, we're just going to go over the items you're going to need for this project. You're going to need a placemat to roll out your clay. You'll need something to roll out your clay. You can use a rolling pin. You can use, this is a section of dowel I have cut to roll out clay. A ruler. I got this little paintbrush kit from Michaels for a few dollars. You're going to need the Sculpey air dry porcelain clay. This way you don't need to use a kiln. You don't need to use even your oven. You're going to need a glue gun and some glue sticks when you attach the air plants to the finished piece. And then a paint palette, some acrylic paints, and then a clear coat. Once you spray this on the clay, then it will become waterproof, so you can water your plants accordingly. This happens to be a matte, but you can also get it in gloss. Other things, little yogurt containers to hold paint or water to wash your brushes, paper towels to clean up. But all in all, this project doesn't require a lot of supplies. Okay, on to making the project. Hello. Okay, we are going to make our little teardrop air fern holder. This is the clay right here. Once you open the clay, you're going to have to store it in a Ziploc bag because it is air dry clay, so you can't let the air get to it. I mean, you can reconstitute it should it dry out by just adding water and, kneading it in and getting it back to workable consistency. It only becomes unworkable after you've sprayed on the clear. That will make it waterproof, and then you can't reconstitute it after that. So it comes wrapped in saran wrap because you want to really keep it away from the air. So just cut a piece. You can always put back what you don't use, and then just wrap the rest up. Put it in your Ziploc bag in so you know what it is, and put it on the side. I like to just start to knead it a little bit rather than doing all the work with the roller. Get it to a consistent size. The size we're going for is 11 inches. This is 11 inches by 1 inch. It does shrink as it dries, so this gives you a wide enough base so that you can attach your air plants. Okay, another little trick is if you go to any home improvement store, you can get little paint stirrers. This is probably a little less than it is, probably like an eighth, 3/8 maybe. And you can use these as guides so that you roll an even thickness all the way across. So you can do that if you'd like. If you find you don't have quite enough strength, You can stand up and roll it. You will have more force. But when you roll, you don't want to go off the edge. You don't want to roll. You want to roll to the edge. You don't want to go off the edge because it tends to get thinner. But if you're using these guides, it will not get any thinner at the edge. So, all right. And once you get even thickness, okay. So now you take your ruler, and this ruler is exactly 1 inch wide. Push that in. Just get a regular butter knife from your kitchen. And a ruler has a metal edge on one side and a wood edge on the other. So you want to be using the metal edge when you cut, so that you don't accidentally cut into the ruler itself. So just come down there like that. And you can take that off. Alright. Turn that around. Line it up again. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but okay. Make a nice slice. All right. So. And since it's 11, just move that down. And then the very edge will be alive. And now we have our piece. So we have our we have our 1 inch strip, 1 by 11, and we just want to clean up the edge a little bit. So just a drop of water, just run it along the top side like that, or you can do it curled around, and you can just clean up your edges. This one looks pretty good. Like that. Okay, so now we're going to shape it. Maybe it'll be easier to see on this side. Alright, so you find a shape you like. Now this is still pretty soft, so you might have to do some adjustments. And all you need to do to attach it is just add a little bit of water on both sides here. And you're just going to push them together. Once you get them together, you can just pinch it closed, like I'm doing right here. Just pinch it closed. And that's it. So now you can make this wider, you can make it more narrow, whatever you prefer. However you like to, you want your thing to look. Okay, now because this is rather soft and wet, we're going to let it dry so that we can work with it some more, and so we can put the hole in the top. You can't put the hole in the top when it's this wet. I'm going to show you on this one. I used a button to make this imprint, but what I've learned is as it dries, imprints tend to disappear. I had an imprint on the inside and most of it is gone. Instead, add texture if you want texture, decoration, do it on the outside. Do it raised as opposed to indented. Because like I said, as it dries, it closes up. So. And the way you attach this, so you make a little coil, dip it in some water, and then you can simply press it. Let's try and do this in a way you can see it. So you would press it to the outside. You can also wet your surface. And then you can make sort of a little raised decoration. Okay, I'm going to show you close up of how you roll a coil. I'm just using my table because this is very easy to clean, but you can always use the placemat. And I think it's easier for you to see on the table. Okay, to make little balls like that, you just take a snippet of clay, just roll it in your palm, use your fingers, you can use one finger, you can use two fingers, whatever you feel comfortable with. Now to attach it, you're going to need a flat end. So you just flatten an end on the table so that you get a flat end. This gives you more surface area to make the attachment. Put a little water where you want to put it. A little dunk in there. And then you can press it down like that. And that's how to attach a little ball. If you want to make little flowers, you can attach them the same way. Now, if you want to make a ruffle, you just get the handle of a brush. I'm going to use this brush. It's a little bit wider. It needs to have set up a little bit, so it's not quite as soft as it was in the last one. So you're just going to press and turn. I don't know if you can see. I'm turning. Press and turn. Press and turn. Press and turn. And you can see you have a ruffled edge. Now for the other side, I would let this side dry a little bit so it sets up a little bit more, and then you can do the opposite side. Okay, it's a couple hours later, and you can see that they're dry. They've set up. So you can drill the hole. So I'm just going to use a wood screw, and I'm going to brace it on here just to get it started. And I'm going to just use that to drill the hole. So now you can also go onto this side and use it to drill it. And then to smooth it out, I just use an Allen wrench to push out any of the clay that's in there. And that's it. Now we have a hole to hang it up. Okay, it's a couple days later. You don't have to wait that long to paint your pieces. I was just busy, and so I just wasn't able to get back to this. So, our pieces are dry, and I've actually changed my mind. I'm not going to paint these actual pieces. Hello, Mittens. I'm just going to show you some painting techniques on this paper, and then whoever gets the set, you can paint these yourself. Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you some different painting techniques that I used to make this. Now this is the little foam brush, and that just makes little patterns like that. And then if you mix it in, you can do things like that. A little sponge technique. Okay. You get a couple different brushes in this set, so you can do very fine detailed lines with the small brush. Okay. And then the larger brush as well. This is an interesting technique. If you have a melon baller, or this is I think a 1/8 teaspoon, you can do some interesting little dot designs. So you just stick it in there and you press it. Each subsequent dot will get smaller. And let's try it like that. Like that. This type of, you could do just a little mixing, do some more sponging techniques. You could even paint with the sponges. So your options are open. Take your spray. Alright, now that our piece is dry, we can attach our air plants. So just work with them and try and find a pleasing arrangement that you like. I think I'm going to do them like that. Just get your glue gun, put a little drop of glue. And that's it. Just wait for them to dry. Now you could use jute string, or you could use floral wire. You could even use a bracelet to make a hanger out of it. And it's done.